Hello and welcome back to the Movie Memo Recaps. Today we are going to recap a 2022 movie titled A Day to Die. Please be advised that there will be spoilers ahead. At a local school, a shocking scene unfolds as a gang of armed criminals bursts in, taking students hostage and plunging the community into chaos. With time slipping away, Chief Alston is compelled to act decisively. The pressure mounts when the mayor delivers a stark warning. Alston will be dismissed if the rescue attempt fails. Captain Mason, leading the special operations team tasked with defusing the crisis, quickly discovers that all entrances are sealed. In a moment of urgency, Mason requests permission to breach the building, and after a tense deliberation, Alston gives the green light for explosives. As the mission kicks off, brothers Connor and Timmy, trusted veterans of the team, prepare to execute their roles. The operation begins immediately after the breach, with the team executing their plan under tight coordination. In the initial wave, several hostages are successfully evacuated, but disaster strikes when a sudden explosion engulfs the area in thick smoke. Amid the confusion and limited visibility, Timmy tragically misfires, hitting a hostage, a mistake that alters the mission's trajectory. Inside the school, the gang's brutality escalates. One member holds hostages at gunpoint while Connor finds himself paralyzed by indecision. The situation reaches a boiling point when a gangster inadvertently triggers a landmine, resulting in a devastating blast that propels Connor out of the building. 18 months later, having left the special forces behind, Connor now serves as a regular police officer. During a routine assignment, he is tasked with escorting a teenager named Joaquin, who has encountered legal troubles. The situation spirals out of control when gangsters approach, prompting Joaquin to attempt an escape. Connor intervenes to protect him but is forced to shoot one of the attackers in self-defense. Aware that more danger is imminent, he urges Joaquin to flee. His instincts prove correct when a gang led by Pettis, a notorious and ruthless crime boss, arrives on the scene. Instead of retaliating immediately, Pettis devises a calculated plan for revenge. Back at the station, Connor faces questioning about the incident. He explains his actions were taken to protect Joaquin from gang violence, but the officers remain skeptical, suspecting he may be concealing details or attempting to cover up a grave error. The situation takes a darker turn when Joaquin is found murdered, with Pettis revealed as the orchestrator of this heinous act, his first move in a calculated vendetta against Connor. As blame falls squarely on Connor and his chances of exoneration dwindle, he faces accusations of misconduct and is officially dismissed from the police force. Meanwhile, Chief Alston engages in a clandestine meeting with Pettis, where they strike a troubling deal. Pettis seeks police protection for his drug operations in exchange for mobilizing his followers to influence votes in the upcoming election. Pettis is far from an ordinary criminal. He wields control over a vast drug empire and has meticulously crafted a formidable public persona. His influence permeates the black community, positioning him as a pivotal figure in local politics. For Chief Alston, securing Pettis' backing could be the linchpin for his political aspirations. Meanwhile, Connor grapples with the emotional turmoil of his recent dismissal when Pettis confronts him with an ominous demand: repayment for the life Connor took. Pettis makes it abundantly clear that he expects results. Connor stands firm, resolute in his refusal to engage in any of Pettis' illicit enterprises. Just when Connor believes his circumstances couldn't worsen, he receives life-altering news from his wife, Candace. She is pregnant. This revelation ignites a newfound sense of purpose within him, compelling him to care for her with unwavering devotion as he resolves to turn his life around. However, this fleeting moment of peace is shattered when Connor is ambushed while shopping for Candace. Big O, one of Pettis' enforcers, knocks him unconscious and handcuffs him. Pettis has grown impatient with negotiations and is prepared to force Connor's hand. Using Candace as leverage, he issues a stark ultimatum: Connor must steal money and destroy illegal goods from a rival gang in a nearby city. Failure or refusal would mean dire consequences for Candace. With no viable options to safeguard his wife, Connor reluctantly agrees to Pettis' demands, fully aware that he cannot undertake this perilous mission alone. He reaches out to his younger brother, Timmy, a former Special Forces operative like himself. When Connor arrives at Timmy's home, he is met with silence. Timmy refuses to open the door. Their relationship has been strained since the disastrous school rescue mission that left scars on both their lives. Tensions escalate into a physical confrontation before Timmy finally allows Connor to explain the dire situation. As they confront the painful memories of their shared past and the unresolved wounds that have festered between them, it becomes painfully evident: redemption will not come easily, and for some, it may remain forever out of reach. Meanwhile, at police headquarters, Chief Alston faces a press conference brimming with reporters and citizens, broadcast live across multiple media outlets. Among the crowd, Mason, the former Special Forces captain, attends with a hidden agenda. He boldly steps forward to challenge Alston, insinuating that rumors of his involvement with a drug syndicate may hold truth. Alston maintains his composure under pressure, categorically denying the allegations. Speaking directly into the cameras, he reaffirms his dedication to the city and vows to combat all forms of criminal threats, including drug cartels. His performance is convincing enough to cast doubt on the accusations swirling around him. Meanwhile, at Timmy's house, Connor lays bare the full extent of their predicament. They revisit the harrowing events of the school rescue that unraveled their team and irrevocably altered the course of their lives. Their conversation is abruptly halted by a knock at the door, heralding the arrival of Mason, their former captain. His presence instantly alters the atmosphere in the room. Connor wastes no time in divulging the dire situation: Candace's kidnapping, the menacing threats from Pettis, and the coerced mission looming over him. Without a moment's hesitation, Mason pledges his support and recognizes that it's time to rally the old team once again. He begins reaching out to former teammates, starting with Dwayne and Ship. Though both are engrossed in their own lives, a lingering sense of duty compels them to respond. One by one, the old team members agree to reunite, their shared history and commitment drawing them back together. In an unexpected twist of fate, Candace's abduction serves as the catalyst for this reunion. As the group gathers, Connor lays out the plan once more. They embark on meticulous preparations for the mission, each detail carefully considered to ensure the operation remains tight and minimizes risk. The team quickly falls back into the familiar rhythm they once shared, united by a singular goal: to strike against Pettis' rival and obliterate the drugs concealed at the target location. Acknowledging the inherent danger of their task, they steel themselves to do whatever it takes to bring Candace home. With Pettis' deadline looming ominously, Mason and the team spring into action. They initiate their mission at a bustling party, swiftly taking control of the situation and cornering Danny, the business leader, at gunpoint. Under duress, Danny reveals the location of the hidden drugs and a substantial cache of cash. The team races to the site, destroys the narcotics, and seizes the money, intending to deliver it to Pettis as instructed. To erase any trace of their involvement, they incinerate their getaway vehicle. However, news of the raid spreads quickly. Chief Alston catches wind of it and immediately suspects Pettis may be behind the operation. He confronts Danny for answers, but as Danny recounts the events, Alston's anxiety intensifies. He realizes that the truth could jeopardize his own connection to the drug syndicate. In a desperate bid to protect his secrets, Alston kills Danny, eliminating the only witness who could expose him. Still uncertain if Pettis orchestrated the attack, Alston reaches out to him with a thinly veiled threat. Pettis denies any involvement. He already knows who executed the raid but chooses to keep that information close to his chest. After the raid, Mason's team reconvenes to tally the money they recovered. Their objective is clear: use these funds to secure Candace's release. However, upon counting, they discover they fall short of Pettis' demands. In a moment of desperation, Connor offers a stash of drugs they retrieved during their operation, hoping it will bridge the gap. The team makes a crucial decision: only Connor and Timmy will approach Pettis' base for the exchange while the others remain on standby for support if needed. With their plan solidified, they press forward, clinging to hope that this rescue mission will succeed. Meanwhile, at the police department, officials convene to discuss the recent raid and the destruction of illegal drugs attributed to an unidentified group. They decide to interrogate Danny for insights, but Alston interjects with a fabricated story: Danny has succumbed to a drug overdose. Unbeknownst to them, Alston's lie is a desperate attempt to bury his own secrets. One officer, already suspicious of Alston's ties to the drug trade, begins to probe deeper into the narrative being presented. Danny's abrupt death only intensifies the lingering doubts surrounding the situation. Meanwhile, within the confines of Pettis' base, Candace seizes a fleeting opportunity for escape as Pettis momentarily steps away. With determination, she manages to free her hands and bolts for the exit, but a guard intercepts her just before she can break free. This thwarted attempt only results in heightened security measures around her, tightening the grip of her captors. On their way to Pettis' stronghold, Timmy requests Connor to pull over at a restroom. It is there that a painful truth comes to light: Timmy is battling a drug addiction, resorting to secret injections to numb the trauma and depression stemming from the disastrous school rescue mission. Meanwhile, Mason initiates a backup plan by reaching out to Dwayne and Ship for assistance. Dwayne readily agrees to join the effort, but Ship is forced to stay behind when his wife expresses her fears for his safety. Finally arriving at Pettis' base, Connor and Timmy enter the room with the money in hand. Pettis accepts the cash but insists on a meticulous count of every dollar. When the total is confirmed, it falls short of what was promised. In a desperate bid to fulfill the deal, Connor offers the remaining drugs as compensation. Pettis reluctantly agrees and brings forth Candace, alive and unharmed, as evidence of his compliance with their agreement. Just as a glimmer of hope begins to surface, a shocking revelation shatters the moment. Timmy has been colluding with Pettis all along. Driven by his escalating drug addiction and an insurmountable debt, he has been feeding Pettis information about Connor. In a moment of raw honesty, Timmy confesses that his descent into drugs began after the failed school rescue, an operation during which he inadvertently took the life of a beloved high school teacher, someone who was deeply admired by Pettis. The teacher's death ignited a fierce rage within Pettis. He wanted to exact immediate revenge on Timmy but ultimately chose to bide his time. Conversely, Big O's fury boils over at this betrayal, and he nearly pulls the trigger on Timmy himself. As tensions escalate and the argument between Pettis and Big O reaches a fever pitch, Connor and Timmy seize the opportunity to launch a counteroffensive. A fierce gunfight erupts, with Connor and Timmy taking down several of Pettis' men amidst the chaos that engulfs the base. Although Pettis retaliates fiercely, the brothers manage to break free and make their way outside, where the battle intensifies further. Just then, Mason and Dwayne arrive on the scene, having successfully neutralized the guards stationed outside. They jump into the fray, providing crucial backup for Connor and Timmy. Together, they push forward in pursuit of Pettis as he attempts to flee. Cornered with no escape routes left, Pettis finally surrenders. But instead of retreating into silence, he drops a bombshell. Chief Alston has been his ally for years, secretly laundering dirty money every 6 months to maintain his cover. Pettis reveals that Alston is poised to make another transfer that very morning. He has been observing Alston closely, waiting for the opportune moment. Now weary of being used as a pawn, Pettis offers to assist the team in stealing the money and vanishing for good. Mason and the others deliberate their options carefully before ultimately deciding to accept his proposal. Candace steps forward with a proactive solution, reaching out to her cousin, a specialist in crafting fake IDs, to help the team forge new identities. With urgency looming, they prepare for one final mission. The following morning, they launch a full-scale assault against their adversaries. Chief Alston and his officers are already on site, responding swiftly and armed to the teeth. A fierce firefight erupts between both factions. In the midst of the chaos, Wayne is struck. The wound is fatal, claiming his life instantly. The devastating loss reverberates through the team, but they have no time to mourn. Duty calls, and the mission must press on. As the gunfire intensifies, Chief Alston plunges into the fray, leading his men from the front lines. Despite the mounting pressure, Mason's team perseveres and breaches the bank. Once inside, they split up to expedite their movements. Connor teams up with Timmy, while Mason aligns himself with Pettis. Their ammunition dwindles as the relentless police assault continues unabated. Amidst the turmoil, Timmy spots a sniper taking aim at Connor. Without hesitation, he leaps into the line of fire, sacrificing himself in an act of bravery that saves Connor's life. The weight of this loss is profound. Mason hears the news and lowers his weapon in shock. Outnumbered and with SWAT closing in, it seems like their fate is sealed. Just then, unexpected gunfire erupts from an unforeseen direction. Officers fall one by one as Ship makes a dramatic entrance, turning the tide of battle. His timely arrival grants the team a crucial opportunity to escape. With Ship's assistance, they flee the bank and make it to the getaway car he had prepared. However, their moment of triumph is tragically short-lived. Just after aiding their escape, Ship is gunned down. At the scene, Chief Alston spirals into a fit of rage, losing control and shooting one of his own officers in a shocking display witnessed by bystanders and captured on a cell phone, evidence that could finally lead to his downfall. Meanwhile, Connor, Mason, and Pettis race toward the airport, burdened by the weight of their fallen comrades. But the police are hot on their heels, closing in rapidly. Realizing they won't make it in time, Mason makes a heart-wrenching decision. He instructs Connor to stop the car and shares the secret code for boarding the plane, his son's name, Jeremy. Mason then turns back to confront the officers alone, willing to sacrifice himself in a final standoff to buy his friend's precious time. His selfless act allows Connor, Pettis, and Candace to reach the runway and board the plane Mason had arranged for their escape. 7 months later, Connor, Candace, and Pettis find solace in a quiet life in Mexico, embarking on a new chapter together. Connor and Candace celebrate the arrival of their baby, infusing their lives with newfound peace and purpose. Pettis, determined to leave his criminal past behind, remains by their side as they work toward building a brighter future. Part of the stolen money is put to meaningful use. A significant portion is directed to Ship's widow in honor of his sacrifice. They also make anonymous donations to the families of the school hostage victims as an attempt to atone for the pain caused long ago. Back in the city, justice finally catches up with Chief Alston when footage of him shooting his own officer goes public, igniting outrage and leading to his arrest. With overwhelming evidence stacked against him, there is no avenue for escape. As the investigation unfolds, the full extent of Alston's corruption is unveiled, years of abuse, deceit, and illicit dealings come to light. The city breathes a sigh of relief as it liberates itself from its corrupt officer. Justice may not have arrived in the conventional manner, but it arrived nonetheless. Thank you for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.